So I can see attendees joining in. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar session brought to you by University of Bath and Shiksha Study Abroad. This is an informative session on all the courses available at the university. Before I move further, I would like to welcome our panelists. And I have a request for all these participants that for all the Q&As, you can use your Q&A box to pop the questions, or else in order to ask directly to James or our presenters, you can always use your raise hand button and Shiksha will help you out in talking to them directly. Over to you, James.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the session. So today we're going to focus more specifically on enhancing your employability. I'm sure many of you are thinking about your next steps and maybe considering the UK because you're thinking, afterwards there's the 2-year post-study work visa and I want to go on to have an illustrious career. So today we're looking at the University of Bath and how we help students like you get your foot on the career path that you want to go on towards. So without further ado, my name is James. I work in the student recruitment team and I cover India and East Asia. And today we have 2 panelists joining. So to introduce, first of all, let's go with Yogith. And let's just have a bit of an introduction, Yogith. I guess, first of all, whereabouts in India did you come from and what did you study at Bath?
Yeah, hi, James. Thanks for this. So I am from Hyderabad, so south of India. And I did my MBA in Bath in September 2022, 2021. So like last year, I finished my MBA last year. And I'm currently working with PepsiCo.
Nice. So how long have you been working at PepsiCo for?
So it's been like almost 9 months in PepsiCo, yeah.
And how's it going?
It's going good. So yeah, it's good. It's all good. So I got a couple of promotions in short span. So yeah, it's all going good.
Nice to hear. A couple of promotions, not just one.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, we're here later on about how you tapped into the support on offer at Bath to get where you are now. But for the time being, thank you for joining and looking forward to hearing more of your insights today.
Yeah.
Also with us is Saurav, one of our current students. Hi, Saurav.
Hello, everyone. Hello, James.
Hey. So whereabouts are you from in India and what are you currently studying?
So I am studying MSc Data Science and with a placement here, and I'm soon starting my placement with the Unix traffic as IoT engineer, which was part of Siemens and which now they have become an independent organization.
Okay.
I will start my IoT engineer role from 22nd of August soon.
Yeah, very soon. Well, good luck with it, and look forward to hearing more of your insights today. Thank you, Saurav. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you both for joining the panel today. As we go through, I'll bring you both into the discussion. Now, just to give you guys watching a bit of a feel for the university, because I appreciate that there are 140 universities in the UK, and it can become a bit confusing about which one's the right one for you. So today, as I said, we're really focusing mainly on careers. So how we can support you in reaching your specific goal. So to kick things off, one thing the Bath does pride itself in is excellent career prospects. And we don't just say that, we have kind of facts, data, statistics to back it up. So for example, I've just picked a couple today. In the QS World Rankings, the University of Bath is a top 100 university in the world for graduate employability. And that takes in a number of metrics to assess the careers that our graduates go on to have. And we've been assessed in that top 100 bracket out of all universities in the world. So that's something we're really proud of. And that's from this year that we've been ranked that. The second one I wanted to draw your attention to is an assessment of all UK universities. And this is focusing much more specifically on high skilled graduates. So obviously you've got students going into work, but which ones of those, like your gift today, has gone into a high kind of skilled role, perhaps a role that they wanted to do. And that actually at Bath, we're 5th in the UK. And if you take out those specialist universities, St. George's and the Royal Veterinary College, we're actually top 3, just behind Imperial and University of Cambridge, in terms of our UK-based students going on to high skilled roles. So 93%, nearly, just under, of our graduates go on to such roles compared to a 70% average in the UK. So these are really important, and it kind of belies the fact that we are a university that really just focus in on career prospects. Our ethos generally links to this and our courses you'll find in our course curriculum. We're not going to go into deep dive into the course curriculum today, but we really have this ethos that kind of is seen throughout our course portfolio of focusing on international connections. So whether that's academics from all corners of the globe to courses where we allow students to go off and engage with different other partner universities and so on, whether it's building up employment skills. A large number of our courses have employment skills embedded in the course curriculum, whether that's a specific unit or a part of many other units within the course. That's key. So students not only focusing on their course, but also where that program will take them afterwards. Real world experience is imperative, and we'll find out later a little bit about how we can offer real world experience to students, whether it's undergraduate students or postgraduate. And students do leave work ready. And that again ties in with our general kind of focus on bridging the divide between the workplace and academia. And as you can see here, it's actually stated in our chartership, in our contract with the government. When we became a university, it explicitly said the university's focus is going to be on that connection between industry and commerce and the world of academia. And so that's something we've always been focused on, and it shows today in those statistics I kicked things off with. So how can we support you? And I'm going to bring in the panelists in a second to share their own insights into this. But the university has a whole range of ways, not only, like I mentioned, with those kind of career-focused units in your studies, but also depending on the course you're studying, there might be company presentations. We run careers fairs twice a year. We have the industry insight events where you can learn from different industries. There are resources you can use. There's practice interviews, assessment centres in the city centre, on campus. And we run workshops as well throughout the years as well. So there's loads of different ways the careers team at Bath support you and the university more generally. I'd like to bring in you first, Yogith, because obviously you're on your career path, your trajectory. What kind of support did you gain from the university when you were looking for a job? Did you tap into that support?
Yes, yeah, of course. So basically, like our careers team, so the MBA careers team, so they are organized a wide range of company presentations. So it's not only for like for a few months, but like from start till end. So every month we had to check 2 to 3 companies coming in and talking about the careers that they have with them, and what are the kind of roles that they're looking for, and how an MBA candidate fits for them. So yeah, so it gave an access to the company for the companies like EY, Accenture. So we had like regular meets with them. So it gave us an access to the employees in those companies and like talk more about the roles which we wanted to work upon. If you have any like doubts about the role or maybe the visa thing or whatever it is. So careers team was very supportive in arranging all those things for all the students. And apart from that, we also had like one-to-ones with the career team members. So we were meeting them like whenever we want, like, okay, fine, if we have an interview, then we have to send a message and say, I have an interview in place. So the careers team would book a time, like an hour or 2 hours time with you, and sit with you, like work on your CV, on your cover letter, on your interviews, like what are the tips to what are the top points to focus on the interview and all these things. Yeah, so the careers team was really supportive for me in the Bath.
And in terms of in your final role that you found at PepsiCo, obviously a multinational but based in the UK, was that through the university or did you find that independently?
It was from the university. So university gave me a reference contact. So as you know, like university has many contacts with the industries. So university helped me for find this role. And then I had to go through the same interview process with the company. So, but even for the interview process, university was in place for me to like kind of help me and see like what is PepsiCo looking for and how I'll be a good fit for that. So it's all about the process mapping, like how do you map yourself to the role. So in that process, I think university helped me a lot here.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Yogurt. And turning to you very briefly, Saurabh, before we continue. obviously you've not got a job, full-time job yet, but you've just managed to secure a really good placement in the UK. In terms of did you get any support in terms of applying? Obviously the process is quite similar to applying for a job.
The process is in fact exactly similar to what is applying for a graduate or a full-time role. And apart from the career support team, we and most of the departments who offer placement courses have a separate placement support team as well, though we are allowed to access both career support and the placement support team. Except from whatever was just mentioned by Yogit, few additional things that I could receive was like getting reviewed my resume whenever I wanted to, and just asking them feedback on what they had given and how do I overcome it, or what changes should I make. And also, initially, I struggled a lot with questions like why me, like why am I suitable for this company and the role, and why the company is suitable for me, like for these kind of questions. So I booked a few sessions, like those were groups session with the placement team, and they really helped me out to figure it out.
Perfect. Thank you, Saurabh. Yeah, it's good to tap into that. And it's pretty worth pointing out to which is where the career support is for students who are looking for placements, looking for full-time work, and it's also available way into the future. Even after you graduate, you're more than welcome to continue to use the career support. It's for life, basically. We've covered quite a bit there about the support, and I think first-hand accounts is always the most important. So thank you both panelists for sharing your own. But just other ways in which the careers team do help might be also not just getting your graduate job. You can start your own business at Bath. We have an innovation centre where you can actually pitch your business ideas, join a project, and develop your own acumen in terms of starting your own business and developing your entrepreneurial flair. Getting a part-time job, again, many of you might want to work part-time, and the careers team can help you there, as well as the students' union and so on. So loads of different ways in which we want to focus on that. Also, in terms of engaging with industry, at undergraduate, so if you're joining today and you want to do a bachelor's degree course in the UK, you can do a 1-year paid internship. We call it a placement in the UK, but I know it can cause confusion in India. But a 1-year paid placement as part of your studies. So you can do 3 years plus 1 year working in all bachelor's courses across all of the undergraduate programs at Bath. You can choose to do a 1-year paid placement. That's quite unique in the UK. Every single undergraduate program allows you to choose to do a work placement if you wish. At postgraduate level, there are placement opportunities like with Saurabh's course, data science and some other computer science courses. Engineering has a 3-month placement. The MBA I know has a voluntary or like a non-compulsory, should we say, 3-month placement as well. So there are placement opportunities, international development, public health being others I can just think of. But we also have practicums, which are kind of shorter term work projects, and also practice tracks, which we'll go into in a moment. Obviously, we mentioned about the company visits, but this forms a key part of many of the courses, including across the business school. And for some programs like business analytics, and I can see a couple of students so far have talked about business analytics in the question and answers. Do keep those questions coming through. We will address them at the end. But for courses like business analytics, for example, you do work quite closely with a company in the final written project. So a company-sponsored dissertation awaits you if you choose to do that course. Lots of other extracurricular opportunities too. Different kinds of business challenges are out there for you. We offer them from the get-go for some programs. And so it's all about not just developing your focus or your know-how about your subject matter, but also your overall kind of potential we want to develop and harness, so then you can go on to great things in your career. The practice track is kind of a unique point at the university. So there's the different courses offer the practice track, some in the engineering faculty, some in the management school. And this allows you in different ways to work with companies on a kind of consultancy style project. So you can do a consultancy project, work with different companies over the course of about 3 weeks on campus, and then you pitch your ideas or your findings back to the company. And so often there's an opportunity there to work with some household names. And again, it kind of gives you a little bit of extra to put on your CV as well when you come to apply for jobs. So that's instead of doing a dissertation, and it's a really popular part of our program, many of our programs at postgrad level for our Indian students. Okay, that was a quick snapshot about our ethos, our focus. Very briefly now, I just want to give you a bit more detail about the university generally. And I know there's a few questions coming through about entry requirements, so we will cover those as well. In terms of just very briefly, the population of the university, just to point out, it's 18,000 students generally, roughly speaking, and about 26% of those are postgrad students, 16% being master's students. Obviously, bearing in mind that undergraduate programs are 3 or 4 years in length. So naturally, that proportion of the cohort is bigger. And we have about 30% of our students coming from overseas, and at postgrad level, it's about 50% come from outside the UK. So a nice combination of UK home students and international students on the programs. And we normally have around 130 nationalities represented on campus at any one time. So a nice kind of melting pot of cultures and perspectives. More generally, the university, not just for the focus on employability, top 10 university in all 3 domestic rankings. So out of 130 plus whatever it is universities, across all 3, we're a top 10 university. That's more generally speaking. And we are a campus university as well. So here is the university campus. You've got the sports facilities down in the bottom left-hand corner. Top right-hand corner is the city. And within easy reach of the campus, 15 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on traffic, you can get from the city to the campus. Lots of studying taking place on campus. We've got a brand new, just open state-of-the-art School of Management building. We've also got lots of other facilities depending on the course you want to study. And in the city centre, there's the careers centre, there's accommodation for postgrad students, and there's lots of also accommodation on campus for undergrad students, and there's limited space there for postgrad students too. Just before we continue here, Saurav, going to you, I suppose, first, in terms of just campus life, because I do say to students, look at your course, then think a bit more about the environment you want to study in. How did you find campus life at Bath? I know you're still a student technically here, and anything that kind of stood out to you come to a campus university?
Yeah, I find the campus to be like pretty much in the most perfect state, because it also has certain aspects to it which is very much lively. Also, there are places where you can calm down, chill yourself, and then get back and then just revive from the stress and anything like that. Apart from that, like as it is mentioned in most everywhere in University of Bath, people must be knowing about it, that there are loads of groups and societies. I mean, there is groups and societies for almost everything that we can think about. So they are generally quite. They keep organizing events and they keep us entertained all around. And there are many adventure activities and things like that. Also, there is a good student support team and other things that are available on campus for the students for any immigration related or any such support that we can get. And most importantly, I have extensively used the STV, which is Sports Training Village. There is great facility. Me personally, I have used badminton and swimming. So we have an Olympic size swimming pool, and which is of very high standards, and it is not like we can swim in any weather because the temperature is also controlled, and it's all free of cost to use most of the things in STV except for few exceptions like gym and other sports classes. Yeah.
Gus,
Also, one other important thing recently I used a lot before moving to pool is the library, which is open almost 365 days except for Christmas, 24 hours. In Christmas, they close it for certain hours.
Yeah, that's true. So if you're sporty, we've got you covered, and if you're studious, we've got you back as well. And you sound like you're both of those things, Saurav. So the perfect spot for you. Lovely stuff. That's great. A little snapshot there of kind of experiences, because it does depend on what you want, but campus life is important. So just zooming out now finally about location. So the University of Bath is in a city called Bath in the southwest of the UK. So in the southwest of the UK and west of London, it takes about 80 minutes to get from Zone 1 Paddington to Bath Spa, Central Bath, downtown Bath, you could call that. So it's a very easy train ride, one journey. Also, you can pop over to Bristol, which is a bigger industrial city, and that's only around 15 minutes by train from Bath. And then Cardiff, the capital of Wales, is about 45 minutes to 1 hour. So you're in easy reach of these kind of key cities. But Bath itself has lots to offer, and we'll hear in a moment a bit more on that. In terms of reaching us, I would say probably for most people who come from India, you'd probably fly into Heathrow and then you can hop on a train to London and come in, or get a coach straight to Bath. The location, I mean, again, when I speak to students trying to decipher where to go, I'd always say, look at the course first, then look at the reputation of the course, then look at the reputation of the university. If it's an important thing for you is research, look at the research output. If the important thing for you is career prospects, look at that. We've covered that already today. and then zoom out again and think about the learning environment, and then finally zoom out and think about the living environment, the city, and is it the right fit for you? So let's find out now a bit more about the city of Bath, because as I said, it is important. A little bit more detail here. It is the UK's only UNESCO city. So it's a UNESCO World Heritage City with lots of history, lots of culture, and lots of things to do. The Roman baths you can see here in the back are the historic baths where you might have your scholarship ceremony in October if you're successful. And I can see there's been some scholarship questions coming through. We will get to those in a moment, but also the university is very safe. The city is very safe. So it's a safe environment to live in, to walk around. Hopefully the ambassadors will both agree with that. And this is what the city looks like. So it's got that orange glow, as a historic look to it. It's a pretty city, but also it's got vibrancy. There's 2 universities in the city. You can see the musicians playing here. There's a big abbey, which is kind of a cathedral. And there's lots of cafes, restaurants, bars to keep you busy. But as we mentioned, you can also hop on a train and you'll be within a big industrial city in 15 minutes or so. So just before we go into kind of a little bit about the courses on offer at Bath, let's just bring in Yogif now. I know you're no longer living in Bath, but do you have any fond memories to share? Or was there any surprises when you moved to Bath? Because I presume you hadn't been to Bath before moving to study.
Yeah. So to be honest, I miss Bath now. So I'm currently in Bristol, a much bigger city. But to be honest, Bath was lovely. Like even after my master's, so I lived in Bath for like almost 8 months. I had the option to move to Reading and Bristol after my master's, but then I chose to be in Bath. Bath is a lovely city. It's a small but beautiful city. So everything is in walking distance. You find everything. Being an international student, that you might feel that small cities you won't get the Indian stuff. But I think now you can get everything in Sainsbury's, and also there's an international store in Bath. So everything, like food-wise, you have good Indian restaurants and Indian cafes and cafes and everything. And yeah, like everything is walkable. So like I particularly like the Pulteney Bridge. So we used to go for the walk in the evenings and then sit near the bridge, and then it's like you can sit there for hours and hours, and you won't even know the time. It is such a beautiful place, and like while I'm saying this, like I'm missing it badly. I think I might be going over the weekend to see Bath again. It is such a nice city. So, and it's not the safest city. Like I particularly felt very safe in Bath, because like after being in Bristol for like almost like four months, so I can see that the bigger cities are not that safe. But when you're in Bath, like even though if you walk around like in the nights at 2 3 a.m. in the morning, so you are fully safe. There is nothing like unsafe in Bath. So every street, every lane, everything is safe in Bath. So yeah, like I wish that like my plan for long terms is to like I want to settle down in Bath, maybe after a few years. So I'm looking for that.
You're always welcome back, Yogif. It's nice to see you smile as you talk about it. But there's always a place for you here. Thank you so much. There's a lovely kind of picture you painted there as well. Lovely. Let's just now, before we head into the Q&A, and great questions coming through, guys, so please do keep sending them in. There's going to be plenty of time in about 5 minutes to dive into your questions and answer as many as we possibly can between us, myself and the panelists. Just to point out maybe very briefly the types of courses we offer at Bath, just to give you a feel, because we haven't had much time on this. So there are 3 faculties at the university. There's the engineering faculty, you've got engineering business management in there, you've got architecture, chemical engineering, electronic, electrical and mechanical. If you're interested, for example, in automotive engineering, fantastic courses there. Humanities and social sciences includes economics, education. Courses within this department that are particularly popular would be courses like psychology. Indian students are very keen on psychology. Economics, we've got economics with business intelligence systems, which is a combination of economics and business and computer science. But psychology always is very popular, as well as international relations, international development. School of Management speaks for itself. Obviously, business courses, MBA, like Yogif's course, sat in the School of Management, marketing, business analytics, and so on. And then the Faculty of Science, including biosciences, computer science, where you'll find Saurav's course sitting. We don't have a law school at Bath, so if you are looking at law or something along those lines, maybe medicine, we don't have law or medicine are the big ones we don't have. The only courses related to medicine would be drug discovery, pharmacology, that department, but or health perhaps, but we don't have a medicine or medical school. Scholarships. So we have just finished our scholarship offering for this year. If you're still thinking of applying for this year, we can still accept very strong applicants for most courses. So bear that in mind for postgraduate. And for undergraduate, I believe some courses are going into clearing or have already done so. But just to give you a feel for what's on offer at postgrad level. So if you're coming to do a master's, we have over £1 million worth of scholarships up for grabs, or we did this year. And these are available for all Indian students. And that includes scholarship awards of between £5,000 up to £15,000. And this year there was also a 50% waiver on a couple of courses in the School of Management too. So when you have an offer for Bath, you can apply for scholarships and you'll be eligible, depending on the course, for awards of up to £15,000 for the MBA program, £10,000 for psychology, for example. And this year, as I said, 50% was available for some management courses too. So there are plenty of different scholarship awards available. And once you've applied, you will get a notification of when you can go ahead and look at those scholarships and submit your application for those too. The new scholarships, if you're looking ahead now to 2023 entry, the new scholarship offering will be announced in October. So we haven't got those to hand at the moment, but you get a feel from last year what was available to give you an indication. Of course, the big question, and again, I've seen a few questions in the Q&A about this. What are we looking for if you are thinking, you know what, I want to enhance my employability at Bath? Well, we look for a GPA of around 3.0 out of 4.0 for your academic credentials. We look at your transcripts, we're going to look at your final certificate, things like that. We'll also be looking at English. So if you've studied at 12th standard and you're looking to do a master's, we can accept 75% in English at 12th standard. So you don't have to take an English test at all. If you achieve that and you graduated within the last 5 years and your degree was taught in English. So as long as you tick those boxes, we could accept your 12th standard instead. This is very popularly known as a IELTS waiver in India. So you can call it that if you wish. And then we do accept other tests, namely a popular one, Duolingo is the big one that I know that the questions come in about that. We do accept Duolingo still. So if you're wanting to take that test, I know it is more affordable than others, and I think it's quicker to get your results back. So Duolingo is another option for you to meet your English requirement. Okay, I think that we're almost bang on time to take questions now. So we're going over to the Q&A and we're going to try to clear any doubts you might have.
Thank you so much, James, for such an informative session about the university. And I can see some hands up for the live queries. So let's start with them. We have Archita Bansal who wants to ask some query regarding the university. So Archita, if you're there, please go ahead with your query.
Hello, am I audible? I wanted to ask if it is necessary to have an honors degree for MSc Marketing.
Generally, they do look for an honors degree. How long was your bachelor's degree? 3 years?
3 years.
3 years in length. It is on a case-by-case basis, so I would still encourage you to apply. Honours is normally the gold standard we're looking for, but they do take it on a case-by-case basis. So they will be looking at, even if it's not an honours, it's a 3-year degree, but then you've performed very strongly throughout that period. That will be taken into consideration. So it's not, unfortunately, a clear-cut yes or no, but I would say definitely I've seen students in the past being considered with a non-honours 3-year bachelor's degree. So certainly something to take on board. And I would still say if you've met that 3.0, depending on your grading system requirement, then I would still encourage you to go ahead and submit an application.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay. Thanks for your question.
Well, thanks, Archita. And now we have Kehan. So Kehan, if you're here, please go ahead with your query.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yeah, hi, please go ahead.
Okay, so currently I'm doing my Bachelor's of Business Administration from SP Jain School of Global Management, and my first year is about to complete. So I want to transfer my credits to the University of Bath from second year. It's possible?
It has happened in the past. It is quite difficult, I know, because of the capacity on the programs. They're normally oversubscribed as they are. The best thing to do is we have an international admissions office that will take into consideration your circumstances. They'll look at your study to date, and then they can advise you more clearly. I mean, it has happened in the past, like I say, but on very popular courses like that one, it can be a struggle. to be
So
honest.
it's like
Often
my
students will need to start again. Yeah.
okay, my course is like my degree is of 4 years only, and it's an Australian degree. So currently I'm doing in Singapore, and my third and fourth year I will do in Australia. But I want to withdraw admission from the SP Jain and apply for the University of Bath. I have given the IELTS exam as well, and the result is also more than 6.5 bands.
Okay, perfect. Maybe if I share with you my email address and you get in touch with me, I will connect you with the right person who'll be able to advise you.
Yes.
They're specialists in transfers. So what I'll do is I'll send you my email address if I can, and then yeah, I'll send it to you I'll put it in the chat here so everyone can have my email as well. And then yeah, just pop me an email and I'll connect you, Kehan, if that's okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for your help. I really
That's okay.
appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you, Kayan. And now we have Vikram. So Vikram, if you're here with us, go ahead with your query.
Hi, I kind of have a couple of questions. Okay, first thing, I'm currently working. I've got like 2 years and 8 months of work experience. So I want to ask you about your MBA program. Like, will I be eligible to apply for the MBA? Because until now, I've not given me GMAT or my GRE. I'm currently studying for my EFA. So I would like to come in September 2023. So, firstly, for that.
Okay, lovely. Just to make aware, your connection's not, for me anyway, isn't great, but I think I understood the premise of your question. So you said you've got like 3 or 4 years work experience and you want to do the MBA and you don't have the GRE?
Yeah. I've not given my GMAT or my GRE.
Okay, yeah. So just to be clear, the MBA course, we're looking for a minimum of 3 years work experience, business experience. So 3 or 4 years, actually, you would have enough to tick that box, and I think that's great, depending obviously on what you've been doing in those 3 or 4 years. And then we don't have a GRE requirement as standard, so there's no GMAT or GRE requirement for the MBA. So you don't necessarily need to have the GRE to apply. So I would encourage you to apply. Don't worry about taking any tests or anything like that. Apply with your academic documents, your up-to-date CV, and other documents as stipulated on the webpage. And then if successful, you'll then be invited to interview.
Okay, so as of now, I've not finished 3 years. I've almost hit the 3-year mark. I'll be hitting the 3-year mark in like December. So should I apply in November or should I apply like in the Jan or Feb intake where officially 3 years will get over?
I would say that I would probably hold out personally, just hold out till January, something like that, just because the application window is open all the way till the summer next year. So there's no huge rush. And at least then when you go to apply, you can reference the fact you've got 3 years experience rather than saying just under 3 years, because then you can at least say you've ticked the box that you've got minimum of 3 years experience. So if I were you, because you're at the lower end of the scale in terms of business experience, I would just hold out until Jan time to apply, just so you've got a bit more experience to call upon in your application and potentially interview.
Okay, fine. And just another question. So I'm a British national, so I have a British passport, but I have been residing like in India throughout my life. So will I be will I be considered as an international student paying an international fee, or will I be like a domestic student?
What happens is, if in that case, when you go to apply, they'll ask you what's your status. Are you a home student or are you overseas? You can query it. You can basically say, I don't know, and then they will send you a questionnaire to fill in. Because it's a little bit more complicated than just having a passport. It's about where are you permanently resident, where are you ordinarily resident, do you have any ties to the UK, how often do you come back? There's many different questions they'll ask you to determine whether or not you are home or international. Even, for example, if I moved overseas for 10 years and left all of my UK life behind, I would then in principle be considered an international student. So it's a lot more to do about where you're living and your ties to the UK. So when you apply, just say you don't know your status, and then you can fill in the questionnaire and the team will let you know.
And one thing to add, James, like I think for MBA the fees is same for both. There is no different fees for like local students and international. For MBA the fees is same for all. So I think it's not that of a thing for MBA.
Very good point, actually. Okay, good one.
Okay, fine. And what about the placements? Like, I mean, you all will help out in the placements, like post the MBA.
I can help you in that. So basically, so there is no concept of campus placements in UK. So we have that only in India. So in UK, what you can expect is that so the university will support you to get a job. They won't give you a job. So you need to put the effort. You need to look for the right role. You need to look for the right organization, and then go ahead. And but then the team is here just to support you. So they will give you the skills you want to get a job. And after all, it's all about you, like how much effort you're gonna put it in to get it. So there is no concept of placements or campus placements in UK.
Yeah,
I can say
yeah,
that for sure. Yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah, it's probably worth that being made clear actually, because I think there's often confusion when we say placements. We kind of mean internships in the UK, whereas I know in India you kind of referring to what we'd deem graduate jobs, but they in the UK companies don't interview and appoint on campus. You have to go off and apply autonomously, but obviously each university has different ways in which to support students.
Yeah, just to add one more small point, there is a small difference between a placement and an internship.
Also true.
Placement is generally you work in a student visa one, and it is at least for 6 months or more. It's in most cases it will be for 1 year, whereas internships are short term, and you can work with a student visa when you are in a holiday period, but you cannot do an internship like 40-hour internship when you are in a student visa and studying. One difference is that also if you are doing an internship after your course is over, that is when your student visa expires in Feb, you will need to use your PSW for internship.
Okay, just one last question. Sorry for this endless number of questions, but okay, I think in the start of your presentation, you kind of showed that for the undergraduate program, you guys are in the top 10 schools like in the UK. So from an MBA perspective, like even from the world rankings, where are you guys placed?
Specifically for MBA?
Yeah, specifically for like MBA.
Yeah, I would need to double check. I can't. I don't always. I'm not able to retain every single ranking, but I believe I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double check that. I know the School of Management is often ranked in top 10 in the UK. World rankings, I'm not 100% sure. Definitely in the top 100 for world rankings, but I'd have to triple check with the new QS rankings that were released very recently to determine that. But the QS, I mean, it's quite transparent. If you go on like the QS page, for example, you can filter by country and then see the top for particular subject matters. So I'm pretty sure the School of Management, the business courses, not specifically MBA, are I think top 50 to top 100 in the world. But I'd have to double check to make sure.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time. Thank you.
Nice steady stream of questions. Cheers.
Thanks, Vikram. And now we have Soumya. So please go ahead with your query.
Sir, I have looking for MBA. I haven't applied to any university. I have a gap of 10 years in education and will get this college now or not.
When you say gap, you mean you've been working for 10 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I am working 10 years experience.
That's not held against you. So there's no cap on the amount of experience you can have. There's just a minimum amount for MBA. And actually for most courses, except for the School of Management MSc courses, we don't have any sort of cap on work experience. So MBA, you would absolutely you'd be welcome to apply. There will be no sort of penalty or any sort of judgment that you've got 10 years of experience. If anything, it'll probably be seen in a positive light. I'm sure Yogith can share a bit more from his experiences of being in the MBA course.
Yeah. So for MBA, I would say the more the better. So like I have been working, I did my MBA with people who had experience of like 14-15 years as well. So there's no limit in that. So I personally had experience of only 4 years, and I was the youngest in the cohort. So yeah, so we had people from like 4 years till like almost people had 21 years of experience. So it's a wide range. So you're gonna always apply with any number of years of experience.
Sir, I will apply this university now, and I am getting an admission.
It depends upon the application you make. So there'll be a lot of questions to answer. So you need to have your SOP and everything in place, and then make an application. And if you are successful, then university will be able to have an interview with you. So there are few stages over there. So it's not like straight away you apply and you get the admission. So there are few points which university will see in your application and then take it forward.
Soumya,
Okay,
are you looking to start this year or next year? When would you like
Thank
to start? When would you like to start your course? This September or next year?
This September, sir.
Oh, this September. I think the application
Le-
window
This September, now I have some plan. January 2023 intake.
Okay, so in terms of Bath, we only have September intakes. So it's either this September or next. From my understanding, the applications are still open for strong applicants for this year. But otherwise, the new window will open in the middle of September or the early September.
Now I am apply this university.
You can still apply, from my understanding, you can still apply now for this year, for September this year, or otherwise you'd have to apply for next September. There's no January start.
Okay.
But you can still apply now, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Soumya. And now we have Ahan Das. So Ahan, if you're here with us, go ahead with the query.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. So I want to go for MIM, that is Masters in Management in University of Bath, and I'm in my final year of BTech. I don't have any work experience, and I just have the question that am I eligible for the course? And the second is that is there any placement year available in the MIM course?
Yeah, so to answer the first part about experience to kick things off, so you don't need any experience for the masters in or any of the MSc courses in the business school. So for example, MSc Management, MSc International Management, the one you're interested in. Actually, it's kind of a pre-experience, inverted commas, program. So for students with 3 years or under of work experience. So having 0 years, you would be in good company. There'll be many students like that with your level of experience. The international management course is for students who have got a bachelor's undergraduate degree, so a business undergraduate degree from India or elsewhere. So you would need to have a business bachelor's degree to get onto the international management MSc, although you could apply for the MSc management course, which is a generalist course for any students from a non-business background. And in that course, you can actually specialize in marketing or in finance or in other pathways. So you can have a specialized management degree. So the MSc management course is probably, if you've got a technology background, better fit for you.
Okay. And so about the placement year, is there any available for MIM?
That's the second part. I got so into the first part, I forgot the second part. There is no placement year as such on the course. What there is at the moment, are you looking to start for next year?
Yes, sir, September 23.
Okay, so at the moment, from my understanding, that it will remain the same. It's the practice track. So it's not a placement year, it's that short-term consultancy project. So you will get to engage with a company. They'll present you with a real business challenge, which you can then go on to try to address. And then you present to the company. But there's no 1 year, like a placement option on that course.
Okay, sir. So is there any GMAT score required for the MIM course?
No, so for the management MSc courses, actually for any course, there's no GMAT requirement. MBA in exceptional circumstances, there is a GMAT requirement, but don't worry about that. But generally, no, there's no GMAT need.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, James, for answering that. And now we have Rohan Gupta. So Rohan, if you're here with us, go ahead with the query.
Yeah, hi everyone. So actually, I would like to pursue masters in computer science and technology. So I would like to ask that it's a 1 year course or 2 year course, like a 2 year course with a placement year, 1 year studies and 1 year placement year.
I'll give you an overview, and that brings Swarvin to give his own kind of experiences. But so that in the computer science department at master's level, PGT level, there's the computer science course, which is a 1 year program. It's kind of, again, conversion degree, inverted commas. So it's for students who haven't really done computer science before, maybe maths, economics, finance, but want to go into computer science. So that's a 1 year program. And then we've got the specialist courses like data science, machine learning, autonomous systems, which do have a 1 year placement option. So it depends on your background and what you want to do. But if you wanted to specialize in data science or machine learning or such, then you could do a placement year. But otherwise, the computer science course is a 1 year intensive academic program.
Okay. Sure. That's all. Thank you so much.
Well,
Right.
I hope that answers your question, Rohan. And now we have Hiteka. So Hiteka, if you're here with us, go ahead with the query.
Yes, I am. First of all, it was a very informative session. Most of my doubts were cleared, but there is one. I wish to apply this year for September 2023. So would that be possible now?
And which course is it you're interested in?
Computer science.
Well,
I want to do my undergraduate in computer science.
undergraduate in computer science. I believe at the moment it's closed, but it might be about to reopen. So let me just double check for you. Because many of our courses did close, but from my understanding, they might reopen during or after clearing. So might still be open. It might be worth talking to the team. It looks like it could possibly still be open. So have a talk. If you do want to apply, I would say sooner rather than later, obviously, because they are getting filled up. You can have a talk with the admissions team. We have an international admissions office who can advise you if it's a good point to apply now, whether actually next year is the only option. Again, feel free to email me and I'll forward it on to I'll connect you with the right person in the team to speed things up a bit.
Could you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
So the course, I believe, is still open. I would want to be absolutely clear that I'm not 100% sure of that. So, because at the moment there's some courses that are going to reopen, some that have just closed firmly for this year. So I think just to be on the safe side, email me the course that you want to do, because there's a number of different computer science bachelor's degree courses, some more available than others. So if you email me the course you want to join, I will connect you to my colleague in the appropriate team who will be able to advise you on whether you could still apply for this year. So just my email is in the chat. Make a note of that and send me an email and I will get back to you copying in my colleague.
Okay, thank you so much. Another query.
Oh, yeah.
If I complete my first year of bachelor's here, and then want to like take my second year and the third year and fourth year in University of Bath, could that be possible?
So you want to do a transfer?
Yes, I want to do a transfer program.
Yeah, again, it has been done in the past. I know it's not commonplace, it doesn't happen that often, but there is sometimes scope. It depends a lot on the units you've studied in your undergraduate program, as there are a lot of crossover with our undergraduate program, and then also is there capacity on the program for you to switch into our second year cohort. So it has happened in the past. It is possible, but it is case by case. So again, if you did want to do that, in the same email, maybe also put your transcripts in there, and then at least the team can have a look through and advise you more clearly on, based on your background, whether you could transfer.
Okay, so essential point being, if the courses of the 1 year course that I did here would match the courses that you're doing in second and courses you're doing here in the University of Bath. So if that matches, then it is possible.
It will, yeah, kind of like the stars have to align, because also there needs to, often the courses are oversubscribed, so, or subscribed, fully subscribed. So it would also depend a lot on the cohort, whether there's capacity to allow a student to come in.
Okay.
So there's a combination of those factors, yeah.
All right, so I will send you that email. Thank you so much.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritika. And now we have Nizar Ahmed. Nizar, if you're here with us, go ahead with the query.
Yeah, hi, this is Nizar from South India. Actually, I was like trying to learn about business and other things like the courses like MS in MIM or International Business Management. But I can see there are a lot of courses and programs in MS to learn about business. And to learn about business and around business, what would the course that you would be suggesting to eventually to start a business and to run one?
I couldn't quite catch the crux of the question. I'm not sure anyone else's speakers did better than mine, but your voice came and went there. Would you like to try again with the question? I heard about international management. I heard parts of the question.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's much better.
That is better.
Yeah, my question is like I was trying to do the courses in Bath, which is in MS. So I can see there are a lot of courses related to business and management. So I just want to learn about business and the management stuff. So I can see there are a lot of courses. So what would the course that you would suggest me to take to learn about business?
What's your background? What did you study in your undergraduate?
Yeah, actually, I've done my undergraduate in engineering, BE.
Okay, and do you want to stay within engineering, or do you want to have more options to go different?
Yeah, actually, I was trying to shift my career path from engineer to business. So yeah, that's my question.
I see. Okay, because we've got engineering business management, we've got automotive engineering with business. But if you wanted to kind of gravitate away from engineering and just strictly into management, I would say MSc management would be the perfect course for you, because that's the one where it's for a lot of engineers will join that because in your shoes, they want to go in a different direction. So you could join the MSc management course. There you would have the first semester where you do lots of different units on marketing, on finance, like the fundamentals of finance and accounting and so on in the first semester. And then in the second semester, you can specialize in marketing, in finance, in human resource management. And so it gives you scope to find your feet in management. And if you want to then specialize in an area you're particularly interested in after the first semester. So MSc management, I would say, is definitely the best option for you if you're in that position that you want to switch away from engineering.
Yeah, great. And by the way, I just have another slight question, which is I'm just wondering that can you tell me the percentage of the students got placed in the management course that you just said before?
So the ones who found work afterwards. Yeah. So what you can do is, I haven't got like the figures. Like if you wanted figures, I can't give you that. What I can share with you is the kind of companies, the sectors and the companies students went to after finishing. So what I'll share in the chat is a brochure of the different courses. And in that brochure, it has a breakdown of the types of companies that students went to after finishing. So I'll pop it in the chat. It'll give you at least a feel for the types of, so for example, you can look at MSc management and then the companies where the students went to, and also the types of work they went into as well. So let me put this in the, if I can, I'll put it in the chat here, and then at least you'll be able to download the brochure and have an indication of where students went.
Well, I hope, Nizar, that answers your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And James, we are left with a couple of questions now, and we have Veer Rao. Veer Rao, if you're here with us, go the query. Hi, Veer Rao, you there?
As we've only got a few more minutes, what do you think about going through some of the written questions?
Definitely, we can definitely go with them. And
Quick fire.
Yeah, definitely. Just give me a moment. I can see one of the most common questions which I can see on the screen is that what about the on a scholarship at the university, and people have been asking what are the how much scholarship they can get from the university. So can you throw some light over it?
Yeah, absolutely. So for undergraduate, there are scholarships depending on which course or what you've studied. So is it IB or have you studied at a state school or Indian state school, whatever it might be. There are awards of between £2,000 up to £6,000 available that go towards your first year of tuition. At postgraduate level and master's level, there are different scholarships depending on the course you're interested in. So for example, if you're applying for an engineering program or a humanities program or science, like data science, for instance, then you could apply for 2 scholarships this year. Anyway, next year's have not yet been announced, but there were scholarships worth up to £10,000, around 50%, just under, of the total tuition.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And also, people have.
Sorry, just around. I can't stop. And in management, there's between £5,000 up to £15,000 for MBA.
Oh, great. That's a good news for everyone, I guess. And also I can see is people have been asking that is Duolingo accepted at the university, or is it mandatory to get through the English test? So
yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, if you wanted to show your 12th, first of all, 12th standard at 75% is fine for English, as long as you graduated within 5 years and your undergrad was taught in English. So first and foremost, I'd say think about whether you achieve that at 12th standard if you're going on to do a master's. Likewise, at undergraduate level, you can get through with your 12th standard grade, depending on the board. But if you did want to go and do a Duolingo, or maybe you didn't achieve 75% in English at 12th standard, we do accept it. And we accept for most courses either 110 or 120 overall as a Duolingo score, and then obviously it depends on each criteria. It's all on our webpage, the specifics there. But yeah, we accept Duolingo 12th standard in English.
That's also great news for every participant. So yes, they do accept the Duolingo. And I can see a very interesting question over my screen. How do I know University of Bath is good fit for me, and also what is the ROI from the university?
Nice, the hard-hitting question at the end. I would say like a kind of, I'd always say to you, think first and foremost about the program what you're going to be studying, does it align with what you want to do? So don't just look at a course name, but it's a bit bland, but dive into what the actual units consist of. Most university websites, including Bath's, you can get a real clear breakdown about how you're going to study the outcomes of each unit, the practical elements of each unit, or perhaps the course more generally. So have a look at the content of the course. Does it fit with what you want? Bath, the focus is really on, often is about engaging with companies. So a lot of the units will be focused on looking at real life, kind of real world scenarios and doing kind of practical work based on that. And also for many of the courses, like I mentioned, there's placements or practicums or practice tracks, consultancy projects with businesses, with companies. So a lot of our focus when you look at the units or the university more generally would be on that. But for you, I would say look at the course, then zoom out, look at the reputation, employability of graduates, the university reputation, etc. And then think about location, where do you want to live and study? So for Bath, the ROI, I mean, I think speaks for itself. I mean, we've got Yogit here today, who's now managing a PepsiCo, but we see that our students are some of the most employable in the UK, and the stats actually back that up. At the outset, I mentioned the QS top 100 universities in the world for employability, and Bath ranks in the top 100 globally. So that's one of our kind of indications that ROI at Bath is very high, very strong.
Well, thanks.
And one more point to add to what James said is like, speak to people on LinkedIn. Like there are many alumni from University of Bath who are like more than happy to help you, like share their experiences, like how was their course. Suppose if someone wants to do a course in MSc management, so you can always come to a person who did MSc management and speak to them, like how was their experience and how was the course over there, how did they end up the job. So I think few questions can be answered with the help of alumni, and Bath has a very good network of alumni. I would say best to go to the alumni for that.
Well, we can definitely see that over our screens. And also, I'm gonna hit James. I'm gonna hit you with one last question. So Archita wants to ask that, is a window open for admissions in Jan 2024?
That's a good question to finish on. We don't have January intakes at Bath. I think you'll find most top universities in the UK only run September intakes, and we're one of those. So we don't have a Jan intake. So students either apply now for this September, or you'll be perhaps preparing in the next 9 months or so with the intention to start next September. So there's no January intake as such.
Well, I hope that answers. We have covered almost all the questions, and thank you so much, James, for such an informative webinar, and thank you, Yogit, and thanks to Saurav as well. And for all the participants, thank you for making this session more interesting and more intuitive. I would like to. So, James, do you want to provide some insights about the university or anything you want to convey to our participants before we wind up?
Well, hopefully today the presentation and also the input from Yogit and from Saurav, who's just departed, have kind of shed some light on the university, the reputation, etc., but also the ethos of the institution, and kind of also what you'd be able to get if you did decide to choose at Bath. If you've got any other extra questions and you want them answered, obviously Shiksha, the counselors there, are really good at helping you. You can email me directly. I can pop my email back in the chat one more time. But yeah, if you've got any further questions about a particular course, I see that, for example, some students are putting in the courses they're interested in. MSc Statistics, for example, do we offer it? Yes, we do. MSc Molecular Biosciences, we also offer, and there's loads of different pathways there. So if you've got any questions about these courses or anything else, please do get in touch. But hopefully today's shed some light on the University of Bath and given you some food for thought. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and Yogit as well. I know you're a busy man. Thank you for giving up some time to share your own perspective.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thanks everyone, and thank you for making this session interesting. And yeah, don't you worry, in case if your question hasn't been answered, you can definitely write to James, or you can definitely reach out to Shiksha's counseling team. And with this, we come to an end. So adios, amigos. We'll meet you soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Cheers.